I'm just curious. Do you know about the MBTI?
Yeah.
Yeah, because in Korea, that was very popular. I'm a ENFJ, so I'm very obsessed with your system. I really love to organizing, but some people really don't like that kind of thing. Do you have any advice to those kind of people?
Yeah, you know what's funny is my type is INFJ. Usually we sort of attract people that are the opposite of us. A lot of these techniques and frameworks I've developed, they're really made for people that are not organized, because people who are naturally organized, usually they have their own system. They have their own philosophy, they have their own setup, and they don't want anyone to tell them what to do, right? Which is fine. That's great for them.
So nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. You too. I love your channel. I've been checking it out.
Really, but you didn't understand what I'm talking about, right? So
I try. I can understand some parts.
So let's get started to talk you and your book. Is okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
First of all, could you introduce yourself and your book?
Yes, my name is Tiago Forte. Very happy to be here with you. And I am the author and creator of Building a Second Brain, which is a book and also a course and a methodology and a philosophy now, which is all about how to create a system using software that is outside of your head, where you store all of your best knowledge, information, insights, ideas, content you've consumed, projects you're working on, all the digital stuff that you want to keep and you think is important can go in your, what we call your second brain.
And also you mentioned the key strategies in second brain, which is called PARA, right? It's acronym.
Yes.
Could you explain more about, oh, of course I know, but I just want people to know about.
Absolutely. So PARA, which is spelled P-A-R-A in English, it's a different 4 letters in each language, but it's really, I would say, the most well-known and popular technique from the entire book. So it's a great place, you know, if you're thinking, oh, I'm not sure about the second brain thing, or I haven't heard about this before, this is the place to start. This is the front door. It's really the solution to organizing not just your digital notes, but your entire digital life. So if you ever felt like there's any part of your digital life, or maybe your entire digital life is disorganized, or it's messy, or it's chaotic, PARA, I can tell you, has been the answer to that for, you know, so many people. And what it is an organizing framework. It has you organize your entire digital world in just 4 categories, which are projects, that's the P, areas of responsibility, that's the A, resources, which is the R, and archives, which is the second A.
So we need more details about, because project, areas, resources, the last one, archives, right? How to organize the 4 parts in different ways.
These letters, the letters of PARA, are in the order of importance. So the earlier letters, the P and the A, are more important, and then at the end, the R and the last A are less important. The most important things in your digital life are your projects. That's my belief. That's my outlook. The things you're trying to accomplish, the goals you're working toward, the projects that you're focused on at work, or for your business, or for your career, or they could be side projects for your personal life, even hobbies. But to me, a project is so clear because it has a beginning and an end point, and it's concrete and specific, right? So usually what I see is people organizing their content with big categories like business or psychology or marketing, or these like kind of big concepts, but that's really not a good idea. You really want to be very narrow and say exactly what are the projects that I'm working on, and then organize them according to those projects.
So project means very specific goals that you have to have a deadline, right?
Yes.
Every goal we have a different, the period is like the short-term period, the mid-term period, the long-term period. So you organize everything is putting together?
So it depends. No, not everything is a project. So this is why we have the A. There are some things that are just ongoing responsibilities. For example, your apartment, or your car, or your spouse, or your dog. These are, you know, responsibilities that you have to maintain, but they're not projects, right? Your spouse is not a project. Your dog is not a project. Your apartment is not a project. They don't have an endpoint, right? They come into play when you have some information that you want to keep, but it's not related to any project. It's an area of responsibility.
So which means, for example, relationship, for example, that is the you have to manage it forever, right? So it's not about just the one project. So that is the area.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So what about the last two ones, resources and archives?
So not everything is a project and not everything is an area. There's a third category, which is resources. This is kind of everything else. You know, classes you're taking, interesting topics you're researching, things you're curious about, passions, hobbies, all those things. I think that when it comes to your productivity, they're not as important as your projects and areas, but often you want to keep notes and documents and images and different things about other topics as well.
Okay, so the last one is archives, is everything you already getting things done or kind of thing, right?
Yes. So archives is really anything from the previous three categories that is no longer active. So projects that you finished or that became inactive, areas of responsibility that are no longer relevant, resources that you're no longer interested in. Don't delete anything. You don't have to delete anything in the digital world, right? Keep it, but put it in the archives, which is like it's like the basement. It's like the storage where you put things that you don't want to see anymore unless you really need them.
Oh, I'm just curious. That is curious thing. Some people might find organizing managing this information with your method, the system, to be difficult because we all have a different personalities. Do you know about the MBTI?
Yeah.
Yeah, because in Korea, that was very popular. But I don't believe just people categorized in 16 personal types. But I'm a ENFJ. Yeah, I'm a J. So I'm very obsessed with your system. I really love to organizing, but some people really don't like that kind of thing. Do you have any advice to those kind of people?
Yeah, you know what's funny is my type is INFJ. INFJ, so I understand you. You know what's funny is usually we sort of attract people that are the opposite of us, you know? And so most people in my life, like my wife, most of my best friends, etc., are ENFP. I don't know what it is. I attract people that have a P at the end into my life. Most people around me are the P. So, you know, in a funny way, a lot of these techniques and frameworks I've developed, they're really made for people that are not organized, because people who are naturally organized, usually they have their own system. They have their own philosophy, they have their own setup, and they don't want anyone to tell them what to do, right? Which is fine. That's great for them. But I really wanted to create some techniques that people who don't like to organize, who are not naturally organized, who struggle with it, which is most of the people in my life that I've interacted with, that's the case for them.
Wow, that makes sense. After you develop that PARA system, you encourage people to utilize on their lives. And so do you have the personal and professional change it after you use the system?
You know, where PARA came from was just me trying to, I never thought that it would become this framework or this book or this methodology that people follow. I was just looking at originally my documents folder on my computer and asking, how do I make sense of this? It was really just for my own needs, for my own requirements. And those were just the four categories that made the most sense to me. They were almost like kind of common sense. I just asked myself, what am I trying to get done? That's projects. What am I responsible for? That's areas. What's the other stuff that I want to keep? That's resources. And what's the old stuff, which is archives. And so I would say the main result of all that for me was just every time I opened up my computer, then and now, I feel a sense of peace. It's funny, one of the biggest misconceptions about a second brain is that it's one app. People think, oh, I have to choose the one app that is for everything. And it's not possible. It's not possible. There's no, you look at someone's phone, how many apps do they have? Do they have one app to manage their entire life? No. We need many different apps because each app is specialized. What I would really say is keep it simple. I really tried to present a simple approach, a simple way to get started in my books. but people always find a way to overcomplicate it. I think part of the reason is they go on YouTube, let's say, or Instagram or TikTok, and they see, these really complex, sophisticated systems. You really have to think about what is the smallest, simplest way that I can get started. What really matters in the beginning is that you just consistently take notes. Keep it very simple, like any habit. If you want to get in shape, don't go doing CrossFit and Ironman and triathlons. Just start doing 10 push-ups or take a jog around the park. Like, start small, create the habit, the consistency, and then build from there.
I think that philosophy is getting through our lives. Why I'm thinking like that is I'm still learning English. I've never lived any English-speaking country.
That's incredible. Your English is amazing for never having. I would have guessed that you had studied abroad or, worked abroad or something. Language learning is the best example. You have to make so many mistakes. You have to make hundreds, thousands of mistakes, before you can actually speak fluidly.
Yeah, that is so true. Yeah, I keep that in mind. Okay.